us, and we seek your wisdom again tonight in this meeting as we make decisions in the interest of the people of Shiawassee County. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Be seated. Madam Clerk, if you would do the roll call. Just a note, I have heard from Commissioner Howard. He will be here momentarily.
Commissioner Webster.
Here.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Here.
Commissioner Howard will be late. Commissioner Garber.
Here.
Commissioner Marks.
Here.
Commissioner Plowman.
Here.
Chairman Broder.
Here. At this time, I would need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
I've got a motion with support on the agenda. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. And now I will need a motion to approve the minutes of the October 20th, 2022 Board of Commissioners meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Support. I have a motion with support. Any discussion regarding the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next, Commissioner Plowman will need to
Thank you, Mr.
motion on
Chairman.
bills.
I move to approve the invoice edit reports dated 10/14, 10/21, 10/28, 11/4, and 11/10, and that we approve that Treasury draw warrants for the same. This includes both batch and wire and EFTs for a grand total of $5,841,530.52.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any discussion or questions on the bills? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Marks.
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman.
Yes.
Chairman Commissioner Webster.
Yes.
And Chairman Broder.
Yes. The bills are approved. All right, at this time is our first opportunity for the public to address the board. Noting that we have quite a few people out here, I'd ask everyone to limit their comments to 3 minutes. I would ask my fellow commissioners to hold any additional comments or replies until the end of the public comment, and then you'll have a moment if you feel the need to say anything. So what I have up here first is Marjorie Westerland.
Good evening. I would like to desire to make it known as a public record that I have petitions from the New Haven Township residents against the solar panel farms. I know that nothing has been proposed as yet, but I have 45% of our entire township that would like it made known that we do not want the panels covering our pristine agricultural land. And I'm going to present you.
We don't have your hands up. If you would like to give it to us after the meeting,
Oh, sure.
that would be just fine. I'll be
Great.
around after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Paula Brooks.
Paula Brooks, Durand. I just have a quick question. When will the names of the potential coordinator candidates be revealed to the public? I know that there is a process for that, but I don't know when they might be revealed to the citizens of the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleen Horton, please.
Hello, my name is Colleen Horton. I reside on 6 Mile Creek Road in New Haven Township with my husband Lee. I'm here this evening to urge this commission not to allow anchored solar panels in our township. My husband and I own land that has been in our family since 1876. We continue to grow crops on this property, as did our ancestors. We live in this township because we believe it's a rich agricultural heritage, cultivating soil and growing crops and livestock. The positioning of solar panels on massive acres of productive tillable land makes us sick. The thought that the residents of New Haven Township are facing the possibility of a large solar is disheartening. Solar panels are unsightly, disrupt wildlife habitat, and most importantly, destroy the land on which they are placed, making it impossible to ever return the ground to usable farmland. This technology has been deemed as clean energy, but leaves behind toxic waste that can leach into the soil, and when decommissioned, the panels end up in landfills because of the heavy metal content. On October 10th, 2022, the New Haven Township Board, at the New Haven Township Board meeting, board members voted 4-1 to approve the resolution prohibiting large solar developments within our township. After which Supervisor Hill directed the residents to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting on October 19th. This was obvious upon arrival that we have been directed to the wrong meeting. I appreciate the members of the ZBA allowing numerous New Haven Township residents to speak and share our deep opposition to solar development. Mr. Hill provided a signed resolution at the ZBA meeting, knowing full well that the ZBA was not the appropriate audience. Members of the community continue to circulate petitions, as Marjorie spoke about. I therefore request that the Shiawassee Board of Commissioners respect the wishes of the residents of New Haven Township and not allow solar developers to take over our agricultural lands. I would also like to invite Mr. Holzhausen to our next meeting, since it has been since May of 2020 that you have attended. Thank you.
Thank you. Rex Wheeler, please.
Just wanted to come and give you guys one more update. Was here last month, and so now the full board's here tonight. Give you another exciting announcement, at least on our part. The Wausau Speedway. We have done a lot of work in the last 30 days, including paved the track. A couple of you guys made it out for that. Thank you, along with hundreds of people that showed up for that press conference. And since then, we've got tons of businesses in this county that have signed on to be sponsors at that track. It is a multi-million-dollar investment. We'll be revealing a lot as time goes on. In 2023, we're going to have a new racetrack because we already have the surface put in. And in 2024, you're going to sit in a seat with a cup holder, and it's not going to be a wood board, and just beyond from there. So we're really excited. I just wanted my team to get, we've hired OHM as our architectural firm, so they'll be coming from the planning commission, and then you guys to bless once things are going. And I've learned one thing about my projects: turn it over to the architects and engineers and get them done correctly, and we are on board with them, and it's really exciting. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's happening out there, and that we're fully on board, and the excitement. I believe we've had 54,600 people visit our website in the last 28 days. That is crazy. It's really going big. So just want to share with you that someone wants something to do on a Saturday night from April till end of September. Wausau Speedway will race every Saturday night, unless Mother Nature decides we're not going to race. So we're a Saturday night track. That's the way we want to stay, and we'll keep you guys informed along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Rex. Heather Wicki.
I am the clerk at New Haven Township. I, a couple months ago, was talking to Randy, who at our township had brought up that he did not want solars, and he was having residents just sign a blank piece of paper. Since then, I helped Randy. I wrote up the petition that they are signing and passing around, and I would like to read the 2 pages that the residents I don't believe they're reading. I also have a map of where the residents stand on their petition. All of the yellow are people that have signed the petition. Blue are people who said they do not want solar on their property, but they will not sign the petition because they're doing solar on property outside of our township. And the red stripe is people who have already signed for solar in 2018, 2019, 2020. There has been nothing recent for our residents signing up with solar. So document shall be known as the Statement Against Solar Energy within New Haven Township. It shall be known that the statement and all documents attached are not authored by an attorney, but by a citizen of New Haven Township. We, the residents of New Haven Township, Shiawassee County, stand in strong opposition of any proposed solar projects from being erected within our township. We believe solar farms will have a negative impacts on our township and the environment, which greatly outweigh the tax benefits received by such project. We urge the Shiawassee County Planning and Zoning Commission and Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners to decline any proposed solar projects from entering Shiawassee County. We know that, at New Haven Township, Shiawassee County, we know that there's none presented right now. There's none on file, we know that. We believe solar farms will have a negative impact on our farmland and change our landscape to an ugly blight of stagnant land. This will greatly affect the value of our property. Solar farms will impact the ability to attract new population into our aging community, which has seen a decrease in our latest census. The following are a few of our concerns, however, are not limited to only these concerns. Habitat destruction, the removal of farm crops, grasses, trees, will reduce the availability of food for the wildlife that thrive in our township. The fences that they put around solar will reduce the amount of land wildlife can roam and forage in. This will cause an overpopulation of the wildlife in the areas remaining untouched by solar panels and limit the resources to maintain a healthy wildlife. Land use. The removal of hundreds of acres of prime farmland from agricultural use is in direct conflict with the Michigan Farm and Open Space Preservation Act, otherwise known as PA 116. Human health risk. The batteries used to store the electricity created by solar panels contain lithium, iron, and phosphate. Is that my 3 minutes are up?
Yeah, it is, but there will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting.
Thank you.
I don't have any more slips. Is there anyone else?
I have some.
Tom Manke, Wausau Township. Oh, there's no wires going across this.
Watch the wires.
There's none going across here today. Wow. Usually there's one. I just want to say that my office and my residence is in the Wausau Township. I really want to thank Mr. Wheeler and his team and everybody that's with him on coming in and putting on the millions of dollars that they're going to be putting into the Wausau racetrack. As a person who lives in a township, I can remember being here at a meeting and someone saying, well, you don't have to live next to a racetrack. Well, I do. I live right next door to Wausau Motorsports Park. And they run races Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, motorcycle quads. They don't have done side-by-sides yet. Karts, they've got 2 tracks. They've got a back track where it's on the land. And I'd love to see them get bikes, motorcycles in sometime. I'm just hoping you do sometime. But that's what Wausau Motorsports does. They're a great neighbor, and I just hope that they do wonderful. I hope that they keep bringing in more people. Justin Horvath spoke at their meeting when they announced what they were doing. So the SDDP is behind everything that they're doing, which is absolutely phenomenal. So I just, from Wausau Township, I want to say thank you to all of you, and I hope that you all say thank you to them also. Someone coming in and spending millions of dollars on a business in Wausau.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else? All right, at this time, I just want to see if any of the commissioners would like to make a comment. If you don't mind, I will get it started, mostly because the article in the paper apparently sparked something, speaking to Mary Baginski in this office. I wanted to say that at the current time, folks, we don't have any requests, we don't have anything on the table, we don't have anything going on specifically, nothing before the Planning Commission for the solar panels. That doesn't mean somebody won't try, but at the moment there's nothing for us to stand in the way of. However, if you express your strong feelings at the Planning Commission, it is also open to public. I know there's a rewrite committee and so on, and you might want to be heard. My strong suggestion is that your township seems to be very dead set against solar panels, is to take back your planning. The county only does it by default. The only reason we do planning is for the townships that don't want to do it for themselves. You have every right to form your own planning commission, take your planning back, and take care of things. There's no reason that you can't do that. I urge you, believe me, you won't hurt our feelings. Take this into your own hands. You'll have much more control in your own township over this, and you can work it out. So again, I strongly urge you to do that, because the fact of the matter is, when it's a county planning, we tend to have a more county-centric attitude. We look at the needs of the whole county, and it may, you won't have, I don't want to say you won't have input, of course you will, but not as much. So that would absolutely be something as a solution that I would urge you to do. Take back your own planning. I'm sure we can even advise you on it or whatever is needed. So that's my comment, other than a personal one. As far as solar panels, what we really need to do is talk to the state and the feds and tell them to stop subsidizing this silliness, because I'm only speaking for myself here. This would not happen without our state and federal government pushing on us very expensive, unreliable energy. But in the county, this is the way the system is set up, and this is what we're all dealing with. So that's all I had to say. Is there anyone else? Any other commissioner have?
Just a question, do you have any further information for Ms. Brooks regarding her question about the candidates?
Yes, I believe we are going to have a news release, a press release fairly soon about that. There are certain legalities as far as when we can say things, but I am pretty sure we're going to have a press release very soon on that. We can't say anything. There was a closed session yesterday, and as much as we're dying to tell you, we can't say anything yet. So thank you for mentioning that.
And the interviews are December, can we say the date?
Yes.
December
I think we
1st,
can.
December 1st, starting at 4?
Yeah,
The
I don't
interviews?
think any of us are going to get in trouble for
No.
saying that. Yep,
in the
December
It's in
1st,
the minutes,
and it will
right.
be, they will be open to the public,
Mm-hmm.
so you can come and meet the people we're considering, and we encourage you all to do that.
And the closed session was to respect the confidentiality of the applicants.
Yes.
They have that right under Michigan law to request that, and that's why we were in closed session.
That is correct. But I believe we've had, everyone we want to interview has accepted.
Excellent.
I believe that is the case. So, I'm very optimistic about this. To be honest, I was a little bit pessimistic at the beginning. After yesterday, I'm pretty darn optimistic that we're going to do well, which is good, because we have a lot of work to do in the next few years to keep our county in good financial shape. A lot of work. Any commissioners, anything else, or shall we move on? Okay, let's move on then. Okay, we go on to committee reports. Let's start with Commissioner Marks.
I have nothing to report.
How about if we?
I'll just do a couple quick things. The Community Corrections Advisory Board did not meet in November. At our October meeting, we sort of came up with some plans and things that we needed to do, including looking at other counties similar to ours and what their grant request for the PA 511 funds looks like. And so that's what's happening in November. We'll be meeting again in December. Had a great presentation at our, I serve on the Michigan Association of Counties Judiciary Committee, and the presentation last month was on Community Corrections Advisory Boards, and they told us that the state has become eager to give these monies away, which is a little bit of change in the last few years, and that they aren't really turning down any applicants. They might not fund your whole project, but they will give some funding if you have any sort of reasonable application at all. So that's good news for our Community Corrections Advisory Board. And the other thing is that in December, we will have a resolution in front of us from the Shiawassee Council on Aging regarding our millage. The county passed a millage for senior adult services, And that has to be by resolution designated to Shiawassee Council on Aging. So I've forwarded that language to Dr. Boggs, and we'll have that in front of us in December. That's the only updates I have. The other stuff is pretty, BAAA, GST, Michigan Works, pretty much business as usual.
Let's jump to the other side. Commissioner Holzhausen?
Yes, I'm on a 911 board, and everything is going all right over there. I guess the main thing is they're going to hook up to the county sanitary sewer, and that's in the process. So they had a little trouble with the regular sewer system, so that was something. Also on the senior citizen board with Marlene, and they're having trouble getting food for the meals. They have to even go to Myers and stuff like that, and they limit only so much they could get. I mean, so it's kind of really a problem. So there's other little issues, but that's mostly they had a couple of freezers break down, and they're going to get a couple new freezers and things like that. Also, I'm on the mental health board, the health and wellness board. The big problem over there, I don't know if it's a problem, but the government, they're the state, and they want to privatize it, and they're 100% against that, so that's kind of a big issue, and they're still pushing on that, the state and the federal. Also, I'm on the Shiawassee Economic Partnership with Justin Horvath, and things are going along just like trying to get business here, like the racetrack and other businesses are going, and so they're working hard on that, and he's really keeping busy and trying to get businesses here in the county. So that's about it.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard?
Yeah. Planning Commission meets December 14th, 7 p.m. This room for all of you interested. So it's normally the end of the month, but because of the holidays, it's December 14th, 7 p.m. I'm going to steal a little bit of Mr. Plowman's thunder and just talk about the Parks and Rec Commission and the 5-year plan. That's a big deal, and there's a open meeting to the public. They're all open, but to review the plan coming up in December. But I'll let him really dive into that. That's it.
Then let's jump over to Commissioner Plowman.
All right. I serve in the I-69 Corridor Group, business group, that meets at Bishop Airport. Sometimes every month, and sometimes they do not meet because of lack of quorum. But that's going along really well. There's a real lack of industrial property in our area and buildings to run this big factory processes in. That's a big problem. Not enough of them for our area. Parks and Rec, we have a master plan that's coming up in December. We have several hearings on that and public hearings. But basically, it's a lot like our old Parks and Rec 5-year plan. It's just the updated version. We're doing it very quickly this year because of the monies that will be available next year. There'll be an extra $360 million of ARPA money by the state next year for villages, cities, and townships, and county government for parks and rec area. And we want to make sure our plan is completely up to date. Eagle, which used to be called DEQ, knows that we have a plan coming, and it should be approved by February, so we'll be in great position to apply for those grants. And a lot of those grants are not grants. Usually you have to put in a portion of the money and then you would receive the grants. Many of the grants next year for a lot of activities will not need a copay of any kind. But if you do have monies to put with your grant application, it does help that grant application. So that's really exciting for a lot of us because we have a lot of small parks, with river parks in our county, and we've been doing a lot of work with them the last 7-8 years, and each year we do some more. Maybe we'll be able to do more next year. Also, I went to my first Midwest Michigan Trail Authority, I got the words right today, and that's in St. John's, and that's the Fred Myers Trail that goes through Ionia, Clinton, and Shiawassee counties. Their funding has been set. They've received their grants from the Fred Meyer Fund. They call it something else, but I'll say that so you know who it is. And they're all set, the budget's set for next year, and they'll be doing a little more park work, and they do a lot of maintenance, and those trails are being used heavily. And it's a couple of people talk, and they use them all the time, and a couple of people on the board, and they encounter a lot of people walking when the weather's nice, and bikers and bike riders and so on and so forth. Also, I serve as a liaison to the Shiawassee County Road Commission. They meet twice a month at 7:30 in the morning on the second and fourth Tuesdays. If you like getting up early, if it's a open meeting, if you like getting up early. The Shiawassee County Road Commission completed all their projects this year, 50 miles of blacktop or chip seal. Also, they got a good grading of roads in Shiawassee County at the end of fall here because the weather was so good. They also put some more brine on. There's a lot of gravel that went down, and it all got completed. They're finishing up, they were supposed to finish up this week some of the ditch work in a couple of townships, but other than that, they've got to all 16. And one of the big items that was a big concern for next year, for the last several years, we paid $61.50 a ton for blacktop. And of course, townships work with the road commission to do those projects. And there was a big concern that the bids coming in this year would have been $120 a ton, double. Actually, bids come in the mid-80s. So it won't be as bad for projects, but they will be more expensive next year. And then of course, Marlene indicated that we go to Genesee Shiawassee Thumb Workforce Group, and we did have a governing board meeting, but it was just pretty much, we paid the bills and passed a couple resolutions, and they're very active. People are going back for retraining and so on and so forth. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Garber.
Nothing new at this time, thank you.
After all that, you have nothing.
I say let's get down to business.
All right, it's time to move on to motions then. Commissioner Marks, could you get us started?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, at this time, I will move to approve the PA 116 farmland agreement application for Lansing Marine FLA in Middlebury Township for parcel 005-09-200-002. Also, 005-10-100-001 and 005-10-100-002.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. Do we need a roll call on this one?
I think we do.
I
For
think we
PA
do.
116.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Right. This time, I move to authorize a contract with Brand Row for the historical courthouse remodel not to exceed $6,183,600.00.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Further discussion on it?
I would just note that Bramro is here again tonight for the third night this week, and we really appreciate your commitment to being here. Thank you for that.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Further discussion?
I just got to comment. And for putting it all together.
Yeah.
An old courthouse, wow. A lot of stuff goes into that.
Let's hope this time, next year, we're saying, that really went smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to move everybody out of the courthouse to new places for 5 to 6 months, I guess, or how long it takes, more or less, so that's gonna be a challenge, so.
We should have a lot more information on that by our meetings next month.
Yeah.
Things are definitely underway, and I'm optimistic that it'll go as smoothly as those things can go. I won't promise smoothly. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
and Chairman Broder.
Yes.
All right. Then on item C, I move to approve the direct spread of taxes in terms of millage rates and to be spread on taxable valuation.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion on that item? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Olshausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, at this time, I'll turn the floor back over to you for the CDVG hearing.
I think I need a motion to open the public hearing.
And then I will make the motion.
I'll support that motion.
We have a motion with support. All in favor of opening that hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone who wishes to address us regarding that?
Could you explain what that means?
This is a very perfunctory thing where we are required by law to hold a public hearing on this that none of the public basically ever comments on, but it is a requirement, so at this time we're opening the hearing, we are offering it public comment, which as we see no one wants to do, and now I will entertain, if there's no other comments by the commission, yes.
Did we just say though that it is the community development block grant, did that get said instead
Oh.
of just CDBG? I think we should
That's what I meant.
at least say that.
Excuse me, I didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget people don't understand the
Right,
acronym.
exactly.
The
That's
Community
what
Development
was
Block
asking.
Grant, yes. If
Yes.
anyone wants to discuss the Community Development Block Grant, if you've been thinking about it for days, please come forward.
It is confusing. I had to have Tracy explain it to me. I thought it was for shoplifting in Durand. So, you know.
It is. It is a technical and confusing thing, and the public hearing is one of the things they require us to do.
Yeah.
So we're doing that now.
I have
Yes,
a question. Could you tell us all here what this does and how that will positively affect us?
Commissioner Garber, do you want to handle that one? You've looked into it. It sounds like more than anyone else.
Well, I only did because I was mistaken as to what it was. It's just part of money that might be available for future community development.
It's something to do with the SEDP, I believe. Justin Horvath does a lot with community development block grants. It has to do with, like Commissioner Garber said, stuff that he does money comes into our county that he can use for business development, economic development, and we have to, because we receive that money, we have to give an opportunity for the public to give input on that, so.
Yeah, basically what
It
we're
flows through us. Like, there are a lot of monies that flow through us, but pretty much are handled by others. So it's kind of an odd system, the way county government is set up. This is probably the most public discussion we've ever had on this one. Anyone else?
We don't usually have this much public either.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, we have a crowd, that's good.
That's very true.
I make a motion that we close the hearing for the community.
I'll
development.
second that.
I am saying, all in favor of closing this, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll move on to our final item. I move that we approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2022 Economic and Physical Development Committee meeting.
Support.
I have a motion with support. Any discussion regarding the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my report.
Commissioner Plotman, if we might move on to you for financing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve the Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners budget resolution for fiscal year 2023.
support.
I have a motion with support. Discussion?
As I said yesterday, I have went through about 160 pages front and back of reports, looked at every single line. I did have 10 areas of concern. After meeting with Tracy, 8 of them have been explained to my satisfaction. Some of them, like I just illustrated, were my misunderstandings of those. So I definitely want to thank Tracy for always going above and beyond to give us information. So I look forward to having that finished for next month. Not myself, but
And this is a first reading. As of the first reading, we have a gap in our budget because costs have gone up so much of $300,000, which sounds like a lot, but we started with $3 million. First putting the budget together, we trimmed and trimmed and trimmed. So it is difficult. It'll be difficult next year. We got some tough years coming up, folks. So we're doing our very best to look for every penny.
Just to clarify, this is not the final adoption of the
It is
budget.
not. It is the
Right.
first reading.
Just so everybody knows, next month will be the final adoption.
And at that point, we have to have the budget balanced
Right.
by the final adoption next month.
Well, and if I could also comment too, I find it frustrating when I sit here and I hear about the state having millions of dollars. As much as I love parks, I absolutely do love them, and certain, services for the courts, which are definitely needed. But when we sit here thinking that we might lay people off, when people are struggling to afford their groceries and their gas and their heating, first-time home buyers are being priced out, and we're gonna put $360 million into parks. That just, I find that discouraging. Unless we're gonna live in the parks, which I don't advocate for. So, as much as we struggle with our budget, it's disheartening to see how the state seems to just have all this extra money.
Yeah. One of the main things, this budget is similar to, for 23 is similar to 22, it's similar to 21. But what we're really concerned about is the inflation. It's an insidious tax, it is a tax. And with 8% this year, not knowing what will happen next year, interest rates at 7% or above for mortgage. We're very concerned about revenues, actual costs of doing business, so on and so forth. So it's actually kind of a very conservative budget, and hopefully it'll work out. Of course, a lot of us, if we do get 23 through 23 and the budget does work, it'll be maybe a real effort to make 24 happen. So,
And yet we have to do it.
yeah.
Any other discussion on that item? In that case, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yeah.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks.
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the agreement between Shiawassee County Land Bank and the Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners and authorize the chair to execute the same.
Support.
Good motion with support. Discussion on that item. I just wanted to comment, this one is close to my heart, the land bank and so on, because the land bank is very instrumental in this county for future economic development, and the only way we will be fiscally survive in the long run is if we have some economic development. We must increase our tax base. So I'm very pleased, the land bank, maybe we can encourage some business development, some more homes. We all know that we need more houses in our community. There are a number of things that the land bank is going to be able to help with. So I hope over the next 4 or 5 years, we have some significant projects that come in because of this. All right, if there are no other comments, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks.
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the refilling of Deputy Register of Deeds 2.
Support?
Motion with support. Discussion on that item? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to authorize the purchase of 2 Dell PowerEdge R750 servers in amount not to exceed $19,488.
Support.
A motion with support. Discussion on that item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
I move to approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2022 Finance Administration Committee meeting.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion on the minutes? In that case, all in favor of approving the minutes of November the 15th, 2021, 222, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes are approved. Just a side note for any of you who haven't been here before, if it seems like we're going through some of these quickly, we've had meetings all week, and these things get discussed quite a bit through the week. So we're on our last day where we officially put them in. So don't think we're not doing our due diligence on these things. Commissioner Webster.
Item A, I move to approve the purchase of a new patrol vehicle and equipment in a total amount not to exceed $52,713.33.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any discussion on that item? Roll call vote, please.
Sorry. Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Item B, I move to approve the contract with Michigan Mental Health Court for a grant in the amount of $88,159, the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $42,010, the Michigan Drug Court Grant Program in the amount of $49,990, and the Swift Insure Sanctions Probation Program in the grant amount of $53,000, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Discussion on that item. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Marks?
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Item C, I move to approve the contract with Shiawassee RESD and the county for services to the Sheriff's Department.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Item D, I move to approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2022 Public Safety and Courts meeting.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion on the minutes. All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber.
I move that we approve to participate in the Tri-Share Child Care Program in an amount not to exceed $12,000 for the fiscal year of 2023.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion on that item. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Webster,
Yes.
Commissioner Holzhausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Garber,
Yes.
Commissioner Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Plowman,
Yes.
Chairman Broder.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. I move that we approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2022 Health and Human Services Committee meeting.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Discussion of those minutes. All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
All right, thank you.
And back to you, Commissioner Marks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I move to approve the minutes of November 16, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Support.
Motion with support. Discussion on the minutes. Hearing none. All those in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved.
All right, Mr. Chair, then I move to approve the minutes of the closed session held on November 16, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Support. A motion with support. Discussion on those minutes. Seeing none. All in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those minutes are also approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, that concludes my final report.
Thank you very much. At this time, I don't have any comments other than what I've made. I do have a couple of questions. Madam Clerk, there's been a question about swearing in for those of us who are returning and the new people. How is that going to be handled? No?
It's normally done in the December meeting.
Okay, what about the new folks? Do they need to be, or do they get sworn in January? What happens?
In the past, they've shown up at the December meeting. If not, they can come into my office and I can swear them in.
Okay, I'll let them know. So,
They have to be sworn in before January 1st. So.
Yeah.
okay, that's what I wasn't sure about. I didn't recall when I was sworn in 2 years ago, so I needed to ask that. All right, so we need to get all that done in December. I'd also like to ask everybody, it's picture taking time. We need our picture for the wall. Anybody have any thoughts of what day might not work for them our next set of meetings?
Why don't we just do it at the meeting Thursday?
Do the Thursday meeting? Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna do that at the Thursday meeting. That's all that I had.
In December?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so everybody wear your Sunday go to meeting clothes on Thursday. Those of you that laughed, remember where that's from. That's from the Beverly Hillbillies in the 1960s. All right, that's all I have. Our coordinator isn't here, so we're gonna move right on to our second opportunity for the public to address the board. I have one card here for Paula Brooks. I got Tom.
Paul Brooks, one more time. Are the costs of relocating the courthouse staff built into the $6 million, or is that projected expenditure amount to be announced in the future? And how will that affect the budget if that is going to be a separate entity? Because I would think that moving telephones, internet, desks, people, everything else to wherever they might be going is going to be kind of an expensive process. Thank you.
Mr. Mankey.
I'm just gonna say, thank you for bringing up that question. I didn't think about that question, but I'm sure all of you have thought about that question.
We have.
Just in case any of you can't make it next month, I just wanna say that this is possibly the last time you'll ever be sitting together. Hopefully you'll all be here next month. And I just wanna say thank you for sacrificing your time. I have found that most of you have been the most transparent and willing to give answers to questions. And I have found that most of you are very truthful. And that I just hope that that those of you that won't be coming back, that you'll have great things happen in life. And I just pray that those that come on will be truthful also, and that if they ever find themselves sitting in front of a judge, that they also tell the truth and not lie to the judge. That is the only mark that I can find this year that is on this board. This board has all stepped up to the plate, has apologized to the people but one, and that person lied to a judge. And nothing happened over that. I find it disappointing, disparaging, and I just hope that we see out of the next group the same thing that we've seen out of this group. And I just want to say that when I spoke earlier regarding the Wausau racetrack, I was only speaking not only for myself, but we had 25,671 readers that read the story that I wrote on the racetrack. They made 38 comments, all positive, 278 shares, 293 positive likes. That's huge. We didn't have anybody come in and blast them, which is anomaly, because everybody likes to blast everybody on social media. So again, I just wanted to let you know that our 25,671 readers that read it, they're all in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I want to thank you all for coming tonight. This meeting is adjourned.
No, I certainly hope they take over their own zoning. And the thing is, they don't just do their own planning, they gotta do their own zoning. I almost said something, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's all part of it.
the planning's the cheap part, zoning's the expensive part.
It's not zoning, it's the ordinance enforcement. That's the.
But that's part of it.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
that's part of it.
right.
You can't have